when we can get back to maybe all-time highs to $60 a share. So NIO CEO slipped up and revealed some stuff during his live stream. He's been doing quite a few live streams recently, and this gives us a good picture at what NIO could look like in the future when it becomes $1 trillion company, which means $1 trillion market cap would give us around $600 a share, and what the whole entire picture looks like. And this is, of course, with general standardization. All right, and we'll talk about what this looks like very soon, and also 5th gen swap stations and 6th gen swap stations. They're coming very soon. Okay, but of course, what I do here on this channel is I present the good things and the bad. We got to quickly go over the bad very quickly. This is, of course, recently DCAR has reported that there have been 2 battery swap station fires here in China, and the reason is unknown, but I can tell you that in previous battery swap station fires, it was a very selfless act on behalf of NIO to save and rescue the NIO owner. And the NIO owner basically had a damaged battery from scraping a rock or something. NIO detected the anomaly and told the NIO owner to go get the swap quickly. There might be, the battery might catch fire. And NIO decided to take the hit instead of letting the car owner suffer the damage or perhaps even casualties. So really saved his life on that one in the previous battery swap station fires. It's not very clear what these recent battery swap station fires have been a result of. I know quite a while back there was another one where it was like just a light short circuiting. It's not a very common occurrence, so that doesn't really create any fear for me to go and swap. I'm still going to swap like normal, and charging station fires are pretty common as well. So just have a quick look at this.
Recently, 2 NIO swap stations caught fire, media reported a few days ago. On August 4th, NIO swap station in Jushan, Jingdezhen suddenly ignited. Fire was put out, no casualties. NIO F's swap station page shows station offline August 4th due to transformer fault, expected to be back online in 2 months. On August 10th, a NIO swap station in Zigong, Sichuan caught fire. Site went offline due to severe malfunction, currently blocked off for construction. On the day of the swap station fire, Zigong Energy Company issued a power outage notice. Nanhu Sports Center charging station under inspection. Charging station temporarily closed, reopening to be announced later. A company staff told the media there was an issue at the NIO swap station. It affected our power lines. They're still addressing the problem. NIO customer service told the media the station is offline and disconnected due to a serious malfunction, possibly.
All right, enough of that. Moving on to the very good bullish stuff. So quite a few things. So first of all, he talked about 5th gen swap stations and that it's going to be able to swap Firefly cars as well, which is very, very key. Right now, the current swap stations can swap on-road cars and NIO vehicles. And then very soon, the Firefly cars can swap, but none of the swap stations currently can do it, all right, because the car is physically too small. So 5th gen swap stations will be able to swap all the sizes of cars. So from NIO vehicles to on-road vehicles to Firefly NIO vehicles as well. So this is definitely a very, very big news. And then he also accidentally slipped up and said, there was this co-host who was kind of reminding William Lee what they're going to talk about. And the co-host said, oh, now we're going to talk about the new Firefly vehicle model. And then the CEO says, yeah, the new Firefly vehicle model. And then she's like, no, wait, no, not that, the new Firefly color. Oh, yeah. And then William is like, oh, yeah, no, Firefly color. So there's going to be a new Firefly vehicle color, but there might be a new Firefly vehicle as well. Now, we do know for a fact that it has been confirmed by both Firefly CEO and NIO CEO that future Firefly vehicles will use CATL's chocolate battery swap battery pack, basically allowing it to also swap at CATL chocolate swap station. And what this also entails is that when you go onto the 6th generation swap station, so this is kind of going a little bit ahead. 5th gen swap stations will be announced very soon, okay, on NIO Day, and it's going to be put into operation next year. So we can expect 6th gen swap stations to be launched next year, to be available the year after that. So with 6th gen swap stations, you're going to have to be able to swap the Firefly 2. So basically the second Firefly car using the chocolate swap batteries, chocolate battery packs, and that's going to have to be able to be swapped in the 6th gen swap station, which also means that the 6th gen swap stations will have those chocolate battery packs, which means you have achieved general standardization. You can have Onvo vehicles, you can have NIO vehicles, you can have Firefly vehicles, you can have any vehicle that works with CATL in terms of partner swap. They will be able to swap at Gen 6 NIO swap stations, which will be that's opening up the entire market. All right. So it's sort of like how gas stations, you have different octane levels, right? 98 octane level, you have diesel, all these different octane levels. Right now, it's sort of like a situation where the battery swap stations, you only have like a few of these, all right, if we're using that analogy. But then by the 6th gen swap stations, you will have everything. It's like a gas station for all vehicles, basically. Any EV that can do battery swap can go to a NIO swap stations to get their battery swapped. That is the 6th generation swap station. Now you're asking, whoa, does that mean they have to have a lot of battery packs? Yeah, they have to have a lot of battery packs, all right? Because you have the NIO, current 1st gen and 2nd gen NIO's battery pack. You have to have at least the 70 and then the 100, right? That's 2. And then you have the Onvo battery packs, right? You have the 60 and 80, that's 4 already, 4 types of battery packs. And then you have to have the 3rd gen NT 3.0 NIO battery packs, which is what the ET9 is using, the 900 volt battery packs for NIO, 100 kilowatt hours. That's 5 different battery packs. And then on top of that, you have to have the 1st gen Firefly car, which is 6 type of battery packs. And then you have to have the chocolate battery pack, which is 7. So 7 different kind of battery packs. Well, yeah, sort of varieties of batteries inside the swap station, which you might argue that's a lot. And you could say it's a lot, but according to NIO CEO, currently 4th gen swap stations with 23 battery bays are mostly half empty because there's just not that demand. Okay, there isn't that need. So there's plenty of capacity, and with future iterations of swap stations, they will increase the capacity. So they'll have no problem accommodating all these different battery varieties. I think the biggest concern would be like swapping bays. Will it be like one swapping bay or another? And NIO CEO's answer to that is, this is a good problem to have. If you have like too much demand, that's a good thing. You just build another swap station, right? Maybe not next to each other, but maybe just 1 block or 2 blocks away, right? That's going to just be beneficial to everyone, right? And you can, unlike gas stations, you can't see which on your car, you can't see which gas station is packed or lined up, and that kind of stuff. But in a NIO or in these smart cars, you can see which swap station has the available batteries, what's the battery charge amount, and you can also see how many people are waiting in line, and also the estimated time about when how many people will be waiting in line once you get there. So really you're able to plan out, do I go to this one or do I go to that one? And how long do I have to wait if I have to wait? So that is going to be, the bigger picture. And he has also said, they're constantly franchising out these swap stations with energy companies, with private investment firms. These guys are all investing a ton of money to build swap stations for energy storage, for their, they have most of these companies, they have like a parking lot full of chargers, and also, a swap station, and the swap station stores electricity to be used for the chargers, that kind of stuff. So they got a lot of this going on for a lot of these energy companies and private firms as well. And a lot of these other equity investments, they're more seeking like a stable return. So there's plenty of people investing in swap stations to build out the infrastructure. So this is definitely very good. 5th gen swap stations, and then 6th gen. 6th gen is when we'll get general standardization across the entire market. That means all over China, when it comes to swapping batteries, NIO swap stations is the gas station of the EV age, basically. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty nice. And I think by then, you'll have more and more people interested in not building gas stations, but building swap stations, right? Because, you're kind of shifting into the EV age. So that's going to create even more interest, right? And you'll have total infrastructure domination. And on top of that, by then, it's kind of like, why would you buy a car that can't do battery swap? It's like going to a gas station, manually pumping gas, or one that has a nozzle that just does it in 3 minutes. Would you still manually hand pump gas? So yeah, it's a very interesting future that we're looking at. And 5th gen swap stations, 6th gen swap stations, very soon, 2 years time. So I think overall, all right, this is just my wild prediction. My long-term target, $650 per share. I think we're going to see substantial share price increase later this year, thanks to profitability. But then when we actually see real exponential growth, that's probably later on in 2027, when we can get back to maybe all-time highs to $60 a share, or even higher in late 2027-ish. But yeah, we might be able to get there earlier, but we'll see. But that's my personal opinion, not financial advice. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.